One of my favorite church fathers is Saint Ephrem. If you would have asked me 20 years ago would I have ever said Saint Ephrem as my favorite church father, I would have said no. I was always, especially early on in the priesthood, always concerned with about precise theology, coming up with the most precise formulations of dogma and ways to explain it. But as time has went on, I realized maybe that project was mistaken. Yes, dogma is important. Yes, we should always try to understand our faith in better and better ways. But I'm not so sure that notion of finding the most precise way is the best way, because ultimately our faith is a mystery. There's never one definition of God that's adequate. God can't be defined. There's never one formulation of the faith that is sufficient to explain the totality of what we believe. And so there needs to be a variety of perspectives, a variety of different approaches. This is why I think Catholic thought has so many different religious orders. Why? Because there's a variety of ways that we can live out the gospel. Jesus didn't give us one method. Jesus instead spoke in parables, which constantly draw us back into the mystery. There's no one interpretation of the parable, but we have to re-engage the parable over and over and over again. There's a complexity of meaning rather than just simply one understanding, one interpretation. This is what I think Saint Ephrem gets so well. His writings are poetry, and as a result, they illumine the fundamental mystery. He uses these images and analogies that, we're going back to the well again and again because we can never exhaust the well. We keep going back to those sources. Or again, speaking about the Eucharist, on how even as we consume the Eucharist, there's always more of an understanding that we can have regarding the Eucharist itself. Even as I think I've exhausted the interpretation, I've only received little crumbs. There's more to the mystery than what I'm able to understand at any given moment. And so Ephrem reminds us there's no simply one exhaustive interpretation, but through poetry we continue to engage with the mystery. The faith isn't a matter of figuring it out once for all, but engaging